Welcome back to the winter wonderland we've got here. Lots of snow coming down. We're only totaling about 3 inches or something for a max, so it's not a huge crazy snowstorm or anything, but it is pretty darn chilly at about 15 to 17 degrees overnight here. It is dark in the greenhouse. Darn dark. You can see how light it is outside, and then it's just completely covered up. We've been heating it up. So we're out here nice and early, and my son's out here with me. He just got back in the greenhouse. He just got done messing around outside with all of his bow and arrows and stuff. Now he's eating some hot cocoa, and he's using the candy cane to stir it up right in the greenhouse here. Got ourselves a nice fire going in there. Some of these, so I want to share some free extra heating tips that we're just using simple solar power for. I mean, we're pulling the solar power through the clouds today. There is absolutely no sun today. We can run out back real quick. We're gonna go check this pile out. Oh. So we just cleared our solar panels off here. This one still has some snow on it in the back, and our other ones still have snow, but cleared this one off to run the fans and stuff. You can see our pile was steaming this morning. There is no snow on that pile, so I really probably should insulate it. We've got a little bit of DIY insulation on our transfer lines here, and then I just shoveled a bunch of snow over them for now, because the weather hopefully will warm back up a little bit above the teens here. So hopefully we have enough of a pile that that cold doesn't really seep in if we don't insulate it with leaf bags. It's getting to be late in the season. We've got our first snow, so I don't know how many leaves people are gonna be collecting anymore. I just wanted to show everybody that pile because it is super hot and super huge. So it is like a steaming pile, does not allow the snow to actually accumulate on it, and it's just watering it down. And it's actually watering down to the base and then gets soaked up, so it's continually using that. If I find that it's getting dry, I'll just pull that tarp right off of here, and we can just let the snow go right in and basically melt right into the pile and rewarm it up. So we're out here melting a little bit of snow, and we're doing a few little experiments and stuff. So I just wanted to share the little experiments with everybody today on pulling a little bit of extra heat off of a already heating system. So using extra heat and not wasting all of that valuable heat as it goes outside. So if that sounds interesting to you, please consider subscribing to the channel. That's pretty much all we do here on our channel and on the homestead. We're out here first thing in the morning. First snow day, real snow day where it accumulated, and a little guy had to come out here and play. So let's get right into this and check out our new experiment. So first things first, we're gonna light a quick incense, freshen up the greenhouse too. We've got serious airflow coming out of that fan, that waterproof, heat proof, coming right over to the bricks. You can see that hot air blowing right out of the bricks. It's pretty darn cool right out of those flags there. Very, very cool to have all that blowing. Let's check the airflow on the geothermal. You can see that just gets, you can see that getting sucked down as it's pulsing. Let's check our compost heater here. It's sucking it right in, blowing it right out the top here. Nice warm 80-90 degree air. Just jumping down to the geothermal real quick. You can see what kind of airflow we're getting through here. All right, go ahead and I'm gonna put that incense out so we're not breathing that in there. All right, so we've got our snow coming in at 37 degrees, 36 degrees. And then we've got our brick coming in at 180 degrees. Water, nice and warm. All right, so this little 12-volt fan back here is the same exact ones we've been using for behind our bricks here. I've just got this little on-off switch, and that controls both of these fans. They're linked together. So down inside here is about 140, and then up on the top of it is sitting about 120, 130. So directly on the top is a cool 100 degrees or so. So this entire thing is going to be blowing about 150, 160 degrees through here, and I can feel it way back 4, 5, 6 feet back from there. So it is fully transferring air through the whole greenhouse for the most part. It's filling up the air, and it's slowly heating the entire airspace in here. It doesn't take very long to circulate all the air. We've got about 80 feet per minute on both of these, and I'll just take a quick temp. We just lit this stove, so these bricks aren't probably nearly as hot as this pipe that's directly above, so On the outside of the bricks, it's about 120. Coming on the inside, since we're blowing air through, it's about 85, 80, 70s on the outsides here. 65 on the very outside. We came out here this morning. Let's go get some temperatures real fast. So just jumping down to this little thermometer here, we're sitting about 45 degrees. We just got in here this morning and just lit the fire up and just set all those systems up and started pushing air off them. So those just heated up, just got our water warm and got hot cocoa going and stuff. And we've just barely raised the temperature 2 degrees in here. So it's very interesting. We've had 45 degrees, 43 degrees for a low overnight. Our Jean Pain heating system, I have to use a smaller pump because we're drawing too much energy for the large pump. I used a very large pump, 800 gallon per hour pump, just because of all the extra kinks and bends in all of that copper that I had for the last 2 years. So we may end up switching over to our PEX tubing here and just running PEX because we're running our solar fans and we would normally be cranking a little bit of warm water out, but we're just barely pulsing. You can see this is jumping every once in a while and it's trying to go, but that pump is drawing it so fast that it's not able to actually flow the water enough. So if we had a slower draw of a pump where we're not drawing as much energy, we'd be able to put more in. We've experimented with this for years. So I've had 2 or 3 different pumps on this system this year already. They've all flowed, and that's all on sunny days and cloudy days. So I've gone from a small, medium to a large pump now, and we're going back down to a smaller pump. So I just thought I'd let everybody know why the water wasn't flowing down here currently, but it is super cloudy. We've got like no solar activity today. I'm surprised to see, you can hear that system clicking on and off there. The little red light down there, that's our timer. That just shows that it's getting power through it. So this is just pulsing like 150 degrees out of here. That feels so good on my hands and my raggedy band-aid here. Everything feels so good. These nice bricks, just to have all of this extra heat. My son and I wanted to come out and mess around today outside, but we're going to have a nice warm space instead of having just 50 degrees from our geothermal, and our compost heating is going to keep it about 50 to 60 degrees because that is a lot of heat that it's putting out, but it's got a lot of airspace that it has to crank through also. And as we're heating it up, our geothermal's kind of sucking it down and turn it into 50 degree air. So we're staying between 50 and 60 degrees. If this was just strictly compost heating, we might have a little warmer temps when it's not a whole lot of solar activity like this. Let's jump back down here real quick. I want to just show this little fan and setup that I've got. So this little guy I mounted, just took some brackets, mounted the bolts through. Very easy setup, very simple. Anybody could make one of these. I've got both of those fans wired together, so 2 of the same exact fan, like I said, on this little on-off switch there. So as they shut down, I can click it and it cranks back on. Very, very simple to do. You can very easily wire these together if you have your 12-volt solar power, or you can very simply use any type of fan that is heat resistant or built for a furnace and plug it into the wall if you don't use solar power or the 12-volt DC systems. This was just an extra piece of piping that I had that I didn't use when I actually put all this together. So instead of returning it to the store, I was like, man, I can probably create something out of there. And you can see I have a little plate down there just protecting that fan from direct 500, 600 degree temps coming up from that stovepipe there. You can see this snow. My son's been kind of smashing it up here, but it's already melted down a couple inches. We're watering with our plants and stuff. We're going to use this for compost tea, just lots of uses for water and nitrogen rich snow out through the whole greenhouse here. So trying to melt it with some extra simple heat that we have, just because we're doing it. We're going to use a lot of snow melting for solar heating experiments, trying to melt snow with the sun in the greenhouse just to continually water the greenhouse. So this was kind of a random off-the-cuff video. We didn't plan on filming this video. There's no script to it, no planning. Here comes my son with his noisy snow pants. We thought we would share with everybody what we're doing and how we're warming up a lot better. When it's cold out and your gloves are soaked, you've got all of these heating systems to really push that heat through the greenhouse. You can dry your stuff out, you can warm up, you can keep your plants alive, and you can just have a nice warm, cool space to hang out and drink your hot cocoa. So I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video, and we are going to get back to work here.